Hey there, viewers. In this demonstration, I want to take a look at this associated battery tester. So when you grab this machine, obviously, if you couldn't maybe figure out by the intro of this movie, this machine is here to gauge the health of the battery. So basically, we need a clean, fully charged battery. You cannot test a partially dead battery. You need the temperature compensation chart that's on the front of this machine, and you need to remember where to put the current probe. So that's pretty much all there is to this machine. Let's take a look a little bit more in depth and test this battery. Okay, so step one of this process that's not very involved is simply going to be to hook the tester leads or cables directly up to the battery. We want as absolutely good of a connection as possible, and this is going to have to suffice. Positive on positive, negative on negative. Okay, so now that we got our tester leads attached, you'll notice the tester is actually reading 12.5. I charged this battery probably about 3 days ago, so it should be fully charged. Next, we're going to grab our inductive pickup, and we're going to slide the little red switch all the way over that way to the 1000 amp position. That's where the little chunk is missing. That's a long story. We are going to put the current probe around the wire going into the carbon pile because we're actually going to load 250, 300 amps of current out of this battery into this machine, and we want to be able to monitor that with this inductive pickup. Next, we're going to hit the blue button on the current probe, and that resets the probe, and then you'll also want to make sure that this guy's amps are turned to 0. So we're going to do a double 0. We're going to 0 the current probe by pushing the blue button a couple of times with it hooked up, and then we're also going to 0 this machine. So the tester is now ready to test. We're going to look on our battery, and it is a 650 cold cranking amp battery. So that's going to be a 325 amp load for 15 seconds. So read the safety instructions. Those are all great. We're at about 70 degrees. So at the end of 15 seconds, when we have, 70 and above, if we are at 9.6 on this scale at the end of 15 seconds, then we have a really good battery. If we're a little bit below that, we have a marginal / you should probably be purchasing a new battery. So let's go ahead and run that test. I'm a little bit skeptical at 12.5 how we're gonna do. So the further you turn the knob, the more amps you're gonna load onto the battery. So let's go ahead and turn that knob. We're gonna bring this guy up to 325 amps. Turning, turning, turning. Okay, ballpark. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. We're going to count to approximately 15. And I can see we're doing a great job, about 9.8. We're going to go ahead and abort the test, and we're going to consider this battery good. Okay, now that we have our test results, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the current probe. Make sure you turn it off. There is a 9-volt battery that lasts, like 2 hours inside of this probe, so you'll end up running the battery down for the next folks that need to use it. I don't care which you disconnect first, it really doesn't matter. When you're done with this battery, realize you have just drawn 325 amps out of this thing for 15 seconds, and it's definitely in need of a recharge. So make sure that guy gets recharged. Let's try this one more time with a completely different battery. Let's set up the tester, let's run the test, and then let's come up with a determination. Okay, so here we are again. We're gonna grab the 2 leads of the tester. Battery is clean, positive on positive, and negative on negative. Notice the posts are reversed on this particular battery. We're gonna grab the current probe, slide that switch all the way over to the right, 1000 amps. Make sure the pretty side is facing this way. If you put it on backwards, it's just gonna read negative amps, and that gets kind of confusing for folks. We're gonna go ahead and hit the blue button a few times. We're gonna make sure we're reading 0 here. We're at 12.4. That's not really good. We are ready to test. We need to take half the cold cranking amps, 400 straight up. That'll be easy. So 12.3, I'm gonna tell the customer actually we are too low to test. So here's 10 volts. But I can already tell in the first 5 seconds that this battery is incredibly strong. It's not even fully charged, and it's absolutely killing it on the test. So it's just not budging from that 10 volts 9.9. I'm actually going to discontinue the test at this point. Please don't let the carbon pile snap back. It's kind of not good for it. So that battery is considered good. Now that we're done, we're going to take the current probe, disconnect it, we'll turn it off, clip it around the handle in the back, disconnect our leads. I give them one wrap, and we'll put this battery on the charger. Well, there you got it, folks. That is how you use the associated tester. Cool thing about it, it's a carbon pile. It puts a real load test on the battery. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll take a look at the conductance type tester, and it's kind of a simulated test, if you will. I'm not really going to get into, the deep theory, if you will, of it, but we have, series resistance and things like that these testers can measure, and kind of mathematically they can come up with a health reading, if you will. What we did here with these two batteries is completely real world. It's 100% authentic. It simulates you sitting there running the starter motor in your truck for 15 seconds. So if the battery can put up with that, it's in good health. So both of these passed. We're recharging them on the Battery Tender series of chargers. If you want to buy yourself an automatic battery charger, you absolutely cannot fail buying one of those products. They don't sponsor us. I pay full retail price for theirs, and I've got 4 or 5 of them around the shop here to keep the various cars charged. So with that being said, smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. We'll keep making them. You keep watching them. We'll see you later.